Hey guys, welcome back to another Game On DayZ PC live stream. My name's Matt, thanks for joining us, and here we go again. Alright, so today we'll be working on our new helicopter base, which you can see right there in front of us. Fair bit done on it already, I'll show you through shortly if you haven't seen it already. Our brand new car sales yard, which I've only done today, which still needs work, but it's well on its way. Just spawned into the map a couple of hours ago, our new sports car sales yard, which is where obviously you'll be able to buy the coolest, fastest cars in DayZ. And we are going to start working on our new gun shop, which is where you'll be able to buy all the cool guns and ammo. Alright, we are currently working in the area of our new car testing facility, which we've made over the last few nights. A few more cars and bits and pieces spawned around the area, so something new to look out for tonight. We'll probably be changing the name of our car testing facility to Area 51. Just because it is now not a car testing facility only, it's where we'll also be building our new shops. You know, everything cool will be tested and made here before it's spawned out into the rest of Chenarus. So we'll get straight into it, guys. We'll start with the usual run around. And yeah, we'll go from there. We'll be on and off online and offline maps today as we build bits and pieces for our new shops and sales yards. And if anybody's got any great ideas, feel free to send them through or let me know in chat if you're watching live. Always open to good suggestions. Well, good or bad suggestions. Feel free to hit me up. Alright, we'll just do a little run down to the car testing facility. There's not much new down there, but we'll start off with that, and then we'll come back here and have a look at the new shops that we've got going. One right there. That's my helicopter base there, the original one. It's working. Not selling helicopters yet, will be in the next couple of weeks, but it is working, spawning cars currently. So pretty much what we've spawned in here, a couple of shipping containers, we'll add a few more. That's our testing truck over there on the side. A couple of fuel bowsers working, a few barrels just to make it look, you know, a little bit realistic. In here we have got all of our cars in testing. Our Hummers down this end, our Land Rover Discoveries, the Mustangs, and as you can see over here, the Aston Martins in black and white, which are pretty cool. Up here, this is Pete. Pete's our car spawner, and we'll spawn a car, which will spawn it just out here on the grass, so keep your eyes peeled. I'll try and get it in view for you. And we'll start, what can we buy from Pete? Hopefully I've got the money. I want another Mustang in red for in here, so we'll buy that. And it's not letting us buy it today. I have changed a couple of settings, so I'll need to go back in there and change them. So that hasn't worked well for us, but doesn't matter. That's a few settings in the back end to change that. So disregard that, but Pete will, or does, spawn cars. It's just saying the hangar's in the way. I have been playing around with trying to get the cars to spawn right here, but it's obviously still not working, so I'll go back to plan A, which is spawning them right here where I'm standing. Alright, so we added the large communications tower a couple of days ago. That's in three pieces, that one, so it's a bit tricky to line it up. We've spawned the large sheds here. This is where I'll keep my own personal cars. A couple in there already. Just checking that things haven't moved. I'm not sure why this door's been open, but that door is blocked off now by the other building. The other shed we had was just it wasn't going to fit in this area due to the undulation and slope of the land. Our hangout area, I like this spot. Good little meeting place for when people come and visit. You can do some cooking on the campfire, which looks pretty cool. And the only other things down here, we spawn in the crane just for effect, and a mechanical maintenance shed. So that's all pretty cool. Alright, so we'll get up into the new stuff now. Except he's run out of breath, so it might take us a minute to get there. Alright, so as mentioned on the way down to the car testing facility, this is my own personal helicopter spawning place. The helicopter's situated a little bit differently on the other one. That's the one I'm working on to spawn out into the map in a few different locations around Chenarus. The helicopter sort of sits a little bit more realistic on that one over there. But I actually like the way that one looks from this angle, but it just, you know, looks a little bit unrealistic around this side, sort of hanging in midair. If a helicopter did crash into a building like that, I'm sure it wouldn't have stuck there and look so nice. And just a quick demo. So we got Pete's twin brother up here. His name's Pedro. Pedro's sitting here in this facility, but in our other helicopter spawning area over there, you can see Pete just off in the distance. He's over in this corner. We'll head up there and see him shortly. And obviously, as we haven't acquired the helicopters just yet, they'll be a couple of weeks away. Pedro's selling cars, which do spawn on the roof, which was a little tricky to get working, but it's done. So I know now we can spawn helicopters out onto this area when we get them. Alright, so see you later, Pedro. What I'll show you next... Actually, before I show you this is our used car sales yard here. When I say used cars, they will be new, but they'll be the general Adas, Olgas, the basic DayZ cars will be able to be purchased from here. And this is Pete and Pedro's other twin brother, so I guess they're triplets. I haven't come up with a name for him yet, but we'll call him Pierre. So obviously their characters will change when they're spawned out into the map, so they look different, but at the moment, just for testing, they're all the same character. And this, with these cars here, this is kind of how the helicopter base will look out on the map, with some lettering or some signage up on here, which we'll be working on lettering and signage over the next few days, hopefully. And as you can see, this helicopter here is placed a little bit different to the other one, sort of sitting on the roof a little bit more. Still unrealistic, but a little bit more, you know, believable. With a couple of racks out the front. Hopefully, well, not hopefully, we will be adding some, depending on where they're placed in the map, but some ground textures and stuff, i.e. concrete, asphalt, to the fronts, possibly some fencing. I tried to get the fencing in today, but that's a little bit harder than I thought, so I'm still working on getting that done. Just disregard the land, it's obviously just grass in there because of the lay of the land. I am building these test facilities on hills at the moment, but once they're spawned into the Chenarus server properly, they will be obviously on flat ground, or flatter. So we've got a Hummer sitting on the roof up here. That's just because Pete's brother is still not spawning helicopters yet. Now he'll be turned a little bit so he faces me, but I'm thinking this is a better spot for the helicopter guy, other than behind the door, but we're still working out positions. So that's the helicopters done. Just waiting on now for our helicopter mod to be installed, which is going to take a couple of weeks. But that's going to be a cool addition when we've got helicopters lifting off from the roof here. Over onto our used car sales yard. We'll just grab this Hummer quickly and move it out of the way. She locked, so we'll open her up and just pop the key in there so we know where it is. Put a $100 bill in there, bit of a bonus for anyone that acquires it some point down the track, as all these cars will be placed randomly throughout the map for people to find. Alright, so just for the moment we'll park this Hummer over here, just out of the way. And we will spawn a new car out of the used car yard. Now the spawn point is exactly where that Hummer was placed, so it's all working well. What we have done to this building here, obviously we've placed the two aiders, one up on the roof, one on the ramp, just for effect, just to make it look. We will be putting a billboard up on that top area there, and just a few little barrels and a jerry can slash, jerry can they're called in the game. I think when you spawn them in, they're called gasoline something or others. Alright, and we will buy... I actually need another sports car, and I'll show you why in a sec. So we'll actually buy another white one, another white Aston. We'll put that over there very shortly. So yeah, all working and starting to look pretty cool. Obviously still more work to be done on the front of it, and a few more items to be placed, but I'm happy with that so far. We've also placed the old Olga wreck in here, and just one barrel too, so you know, you can steal that barrel if you choose to. You can steal all the barrels in game if you choose to. You can at this stage. Whether you'll be able to once they're spawned into the map, that depends on my programming skills. Righto, moving on to the sports car sales yard. So I think this is looking pretty awesome. Obviously it's got an area for the sports cars to sit up on. These will just be here for effect. You won't be able to move them, steal them. Once it's spawned into location, it will they'll be there to stay. And we do currently not have a shopkeeper, but we will have somebody standing behind the counter. Whether I get that done tonight, that's a pretty easy task to do, but a bit boring for you guys to watch, so I may do that tomorrow offline. We'll see how we go. So that's it for the new additions that have been done over the last couple of days. As I said, still a fair bit more work to be done on each, just to pretty them up, give them some landscaping or a few more items of interest around each one. But off to a good start. Now we'll put this car over in its new home. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have watched one of the videos before, but if we pop that key straight into there, it is going to disappear. So I have found we do need to place another item in there first. Otherwise, the key will just spawn out. Game bug, I believe. I'm not sure if it's something that can be fixed. I hope it's something we're definitely going to look into, and hopefully will be able to be fixed. Nothing worse. If you can't, you know, you can still use your car if you lose the key there, but you just can't lock it back up again. Alright, so we'll just park this car up over beside its twin. And I'm doing all this as well, just ensuring these cars don't spawn out when we do a server reset. I don't know how close. That was actually not a bad thing that I just did there. Just move it around on a bit more of an angle. Parking these up on here is not the easiest thing to do. They've got some balls and there's not much room. Slowly but surely. And that's actually looking pretty good. So I'd say the next one we'll probably put up here, either a Mustang or a black Aston. But we'll worry about that later. Okay, so the next thing we're going to start building is a customized gun and ammo shop. So I need to get out of online mode, which will only take a couple of minutes. We'll spawn into offline mode and we shall pick a building. I'm sort of thinking one of the general stores is probably the best fit. There's only 3 or 4 actual stores throughout the whole game that you can use. Things like you know, the car sales yard, the used car sales yard over here. I was hoping to use something like this, but having limited resources at the moment, I've had to, you know, use this garage type shop, which still is pretty cool, but we are running out of options for shops. We don't want to have the same shops for everything. Variety is the spice of life, as they say. Alright guys, so just going to exit online mode and load up offline mode. It'll only take a minute or two at the most, and then we can get into a bit of building. If you are watching the stream live, feel free to say hi. And hey, sorry Dark Warrior, I didn't see your message pop up there. How you going tonight, bro? If you're watching the stream on replay too, don't forget, hit that like button, and feel free to subscribe if you want to join us on our journey as we build one awesome server that we can all play on and have a ball. It's going to be like no other server. As I said, custom shops, cool stuff, pretty much all the cool new mods that do become available will be on our server. After they go through testing, obviously, and make sure that everything's a-okay. Alright, so the new the offline server's just starting up now. It shall only take a minute. Hey Mickey, yeah, this one's on PC, bro. We started playing DayZ late last year on PlayStation 4. Absolutely loved it, bro, but couldn't deal with the car glitching after a while. If you can't notice, I love my cars, bro, and you know, heartbreaking when you get spend all that effort and time getting a car and the thing glitches out, you know, as soon as you do 20 miles an hour. It's devastating, bro. So moved over to PC. I was a bit reluctant. I'm not a big PC gamer, so moved over onto PC and loving it, bro. Loving it. So how about yourself, man? Do you play DayZ on PC or PlayStation or Xbox? Alright, so when this spawns in, we've just got to make our way back up to our base. Area 51, as it's now known. And once we get there, all of our buildings that we have put in the map won't be on the map. The new ones that I've done yesterday and today will be, but it is missing some of the other ones. I'm still learning how to save items into the menus and stuff to spawn them back into online mode. But all the current ones that I just showed you through, they're all there, so that's a good thing. Okay, so pretty cool view, this one. You know, you can slow it down. It's a really good way of learning how to navigate around Chenarus. Right now I'm in go the memory loss. I know where I am. I love that town though, with the fair. It's always got a couple of cars sitting there, and our base is just up here, right here. Alright, so as you can see, we're missing the buildings down here that we've got spawned on the map, but that's no issue. I know they're on the server, they're just not in the offline mode yet. As you can see, not all the vehicles don't spawn in either, only the vehicles that I've spawned into the map, which are wrecks, basically. So we're going to put the new gun shop testing just here. And as I said, I think I know what we're going to use. Well, what we'll start with anyway. And that's one of the old general stores. So a village store. Either I think these ones are pretty much the same but different. I don't know the difference between a village store and the Enoch one. I know the Enoch's a slightly different map, but oh yeah, a little bit different on the front. I think we might go the Enoch. Just looks a bit more like a gun shop. I know it says market on the front, but it won't when we put our new signage on it. So we've just spawned that one in, and it is just underneath us, I believe. There we go. Okay, so we'll just change the yaw. If you're bringing the front of the shop around to us, we'll just check it's positioned okay. Doesn't look too bad for a gun shop. Alright, so we'll just straighten up its roll a bit as we're sitting on a hill. Now what we can do now is just, I don't like to drop them down too far because being on a hill, it tends to put grass and stuff up through the floors. Somewhere like that. So now we just get out of this mode and go for a little look around it. Slow the mouse down. And just checking basically all the... It's situated well. Not that it matters too much up here because it is only for testing and building it. But once we put it on the map, it will need to be perfect. Alright, so we can go inside. Make sure there's no grass or anything coming through the floors. This building's, we're pretty lucky because it's up pretty high. Some of them aren't. So yeah, all looking good there. So we'll come out the front. We need to dress it up a little bit, just sort of make it look unique. As I said, we'll get a nice big sign, billboard, put with a nice big gun and some bullets on it. We'll put that over the top of the market sign, and it will just say guns and ammo, something similar to that. So we don't want to add too much to the front of it because, you know, the more we add to the game, eventually the server will more than likely slow down for gameplay. So we want to try and keep it a little bit simple. In saying that, not that you can see, oh yeah, with the helicopter you can't see, but I've gone a bit crazy with this one. I've put 3 cars, 3 barrels, a jerry can, so 4 barrels, a jerry can. So I've added, and we're going to put a billboard on the top, so you know that's probably maximum. Whereas the helicopter base over here, we've got the helicopter off to the side, we've got 2 wrecks out the front, and that's probably going to be it, other than maybe a bit of fencing, brick walls or something around it later on. And the signage, of course. I'm sort of thinking up the top here we'll put heli base in nice big red block letters or something sticking out the top of that building, and the same across here in a nice maybe blue or white big block lettering that stuck to the side of that building that just says, you know, sports cars or sports car sales, or maybe we'll make up names for them, the shops, I'm not sure yet. Alright, so I just think to start off with we might spawn a wreck here. I think you kind of need wrecks out the front. It just adds a little bit more character. So we don't have at this stage a heap of wrecks we can use. It's just the basic ones we've all seen around Chenarus and Livonia. But you want something that, you know, a bit, I think something black, being a gun shop. Or you could have something bright. I have used a couple of Adas in the used car sales lot, so we're probably done with them for the moment. The police car we've used, helicopters and plane obviously no good to us. We could use these ones that we all seen millions of playing DayZ. But I think actually that Jeep, I did use that on the helicopter base, but then I replaced it with the red Ada, not an Ada, Gunter. I think it's a Gunter. So we use this Jeep here actually. It's not a bad sort of gun type car, for lack of better words. So we'll spawn that in. And we'll just bring it into frame, spin it around a bit, and I always like to have a look. I think that's probably the best sort of place to put it there. Checking out the sides, obviously the doors are open on the other side, so I think we'll stick with the other side. It's just a little bit more going on. So something like that. We'll just play around with its positioning. That's gone into the building there. So you either want to bring it out a little bit from the building, make it enough room for someone to walk around the back of it, or not. So that's what you kind of got to decide here. And I'm thinking no. And we'll just pop it off the back of the stairs a little bit, and back out we come. Alright, so now what we've got to do, it actually looks pretty good there. I think we next best thing to do next is just to get out of this mode, go back into view, and just make sure that it's sitting properly, it's not up off the ground, okay, which it is, and it's only, you got to sort of really, if you're fussy about this kind of thing, you want to get right down into it and have a look. Look, it's touching the building there, so for realism you want it back a little bit and down at the back, so it needs a little bit of tilt on it, and you can come right in. We'll do that a bit better so we can see it there. Got to hit the right button though, and then obviously we pick up the item with the crane icon and make sure we've got the right vehicle selected, and then we'll just put a bit of pitch on it. So now, because we've brought down the back and lifted up the front, we do need to drop it down one. We can go one more, and as you can see it just drops down under the ground, which is probably not too bad because it would sink in real life, but it looks better there. And we'll bring it out off the building just a little bit. Might have been a bit too much, but now we can exit, just double check everything again. It looks alright there. Looks alright there. It's just off the building. No room for any players to get round it, which is what we want on this one. And I'm happy with that. So it could come off the wall a little bit more if we choose to, but that will do for now. So as I said, we don't want to add too much to it, other than the market sign that will be replaced. which we'll do hopefully in the next couple of days. I did look at a billboard mod that's available, which was pretty awesome. Had different size billboards, sandwich board signs and stuff like that. So I'll be playing around with signs soon. Alright, we can have a look through the objects menu, although it's pretty time consuming. It would be nice to maybe, you know, put a nice big oversized gun or something up above the market sign, but I think the billboard with a gun on it will probably be sufficient. So that's probably enough for the gun shop, I think. What we can do now, just to check it too, is just jump into the game. And got no idea why we're swimming here. But it's pretty cool. I've never had that happen before. But we'll make the most of that and just have a little bit of a swim around the sky. We'll probably drop out in a sec. Actually, because it's glitching a little bit there, what we really should do is just pull off the information that we need. So we'll save that, which will save it with the rest of the items we've got there, and we'll click the export button, and I'll quickly just get out of frame. You guys will more than likely keep the gun shop in view, but I will save those positions. So if something does happen, it does glitch out big time and the computer shuts down, or for any other reason, we've actually got that stuff saved. So I just have to rename this file, and we've only put 2 items in, so I can get rid of the rest of that stuff and call that the gun and ammo shop. Okay, so that's now saved in the backup file, and if I bring that over now to our main file and just quickly put that in, then next time we go for a server restart, which will be shortly, then they'll spawn into the map. And save that. Okay, so that's now added to the server, just waiting on a restart. And I generally do 3 backups, and that's just in case I stuff one up. Why it's really important to do backups, as you guys know, backup everything and some, is because every now and then Bohemia do a it happened to me last week. They basically do a refresh or something, I'm not sure exactly, and it actually wipes the init.c file and puts it back to default on the modded servers, which is no good. But as long as you have a backup and you just reinstate it, there's no issues. You don't lose any of your items or any of that sort of stuff. Just the custom spawned buildings tend to disappear. I'm not, as I said, it happened to me once so far in the last few weeks. Whether it was myself that made the error, I don't think it was, or whether, because I did read up on it, and they did say that it happens occasionally when Bohemia do, you know, whatever they do. Okay, we are all backed up now. So I can come back into the map and we'll just have a look and see if there's any other items we can. Alright, well, we've got to stop swimming. That's what we got to do. So we'll just get the novelty out of our system. We're pretty much on the top here. Alright, well, as fun as that's been, I will have to exit, I think. Now that everything's saved. and come back into game. Hopefully we're not swimming anymore. I'm pretty sure I didn't spawn in an ocean. Although, you never know. I'm likely to do just about anything when it comes to this sort of stuff. By accident. Alright, so your screens will go black, guys, and just doing a real quick offline restart. So as I said, if you're watching live and you've got any suggestions, possibly what we can sell in new shops, I've come up with the helicopter base. There are quad bikes and motorbikes I've seen. We'll go and check out the workshop in a little while. I don't think you guys will be able to see the mods available, but I can talk us through it. Who knows, maybe one day we'll get speedboats, but at this stage we can, I'm sure the quad bikes are available. The only thing I didn't like about the quad bikes, and I know they're still, I'm sure they're still working on it, they got a steering wheel, and it just, you know, obviously the quad bike's been built off a car, so that's the deal there, but hopefully they are working on that issue and they're going to make it more realistic. I did see in a video today that somebody has built a motorbike with a sidecar, which was awesome. The passenger could actually use their gun. So possibly a motorbike shop next, where we can add the quad bike and the sidecar motorbike. I thought that was awesome. I don't think it's available yet. I only saw the video today, but something I'm certainly going to be researching. What else is there that we could do a shop for? So we've got guns and ammo. Oh, we've got sports cars. We've got used cars. We've got helicopters. Possibly another car yard just for the Hummers and the Land Rovers, the four-wheel drive, so maybe a four-wheel drive car yard. I won't get into that tonight unless we, you know, change our minds or run out of things to do. I'm just trying to think what else we can, you know, you could have a separate grocery store perhaps, but we've just used our grocery store for a gun shop, but it wouldn't matter. They're going to be in different locations, so possibly we could just have a separate grocery store, have them, you know, dotted throughout the server in towns and stuff like that. Hardware store's actually not a bad idea. Maybe we can get onto the hardware store. So yeah, but just quickly, we'll just see. At least we're not swimming anymore, that's a bonus. We'll just see what other objects we can use on the gun shop. Now, we've got firearms here. I think they're going to be quite small though, but maybe we can just use a couple. Let me have a look. Maybe a couple of rifles, crisscrossing. Just above the market sign there, which is obviously going to change. Oh, grenade launchers. I was checking out a video today with the grenade launchers. I haven't used one yet. I got one once, and I used it. As I say, I didn't use it, but I used it once, and the grenade bounced off a building and blew me up. So I have used one once, but I haven't actually used it properly. Dimo, if you're watching, I'm not sure if you're online yet. You come online most nights, but you've been asking a fair bit about the bow and arrows. I came across a video today of some awesome ones, and obviously I've just come across this crossbow now. But yeah, there's some really cool crossbows. I'm pretty sure they're available. Like, look at this baby. It's pretty awesome. So we'll have crossbows in the server very soon. For those that like to, I think we've just frozen, so we're going to have to restart this up. Lucky we didn't have anything saved, not saved, and that just goes to show the importance of saving things as you go along. The reason, it's like I've seen it noticed it happen on other games as well, but when you use the I guess the scrolly wheel, not the scrolly wheel, but you use that slider, menu slider, tends to crap out. So I don't use it when I'm thinking, but I wasn't thinking just then. 9 times out of 10 it'll freeze the game, which is a real pain in the butt, but it is what it is. So you just got to try and remember not to use that side slider menu bar. Alright, so while that's loading up, guys, I'm just going to take a couple of minutes just to get myself set, grab a drink, and I'll be back on, and we might start looking for a hardware store. Won't be long, guys. Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. A little bit longer than I expected it to be. Alright, so back to base we go, and I'll try not to glitch it out this time. If only you could drive this fast in the game without worrying about crashing. Next hill. Yep, here we go. Alright. So, where were we? Just putting a couple of guns on the top of this and then moving on to the... slow that mouse wheel down a little bit. A little bit more. There we go. A couple of guns up here. If we can, we'll see what they look like. If they're too small and poxy, we won't worry about it. We'll just get a bigger billboard up there. Okay. Firearms, and as I said, it was this slider here that wigged the game out. So just a couple of rifles. We'll just throw one up there. One says green, one says black. They're all the same. I wonder if it pops it out. We'll just stick with maybe something that you can see a bit. Don't mind the trumpet. So that's pretty much it there. Are all the old guns down. Yeah, the old guns that used to be in it that have been brought back in by the modders. We'll just go a couple of rifles just to see what it looks like. I think they're going to be too small, but we'll check it out. So, pop that down. Pick it back up again. And yeah. Oh. Where is it? There. We'll leave it there just so we can see what we're doing with it. Change its position. Yeah, it's way too small, which is a bit disappointing, but that's alright because we can just put a couple of them on our billboard, crisscrossing. Drop it down a bit. Way too small. Oh, actually now we've put it around the right way. Still got to squint to see it, but it's a bit better. Yeah, I think we might just run with it. Even if we just put one there for now. We can muck around with it later. We need something with a bit more girth, for lack of a better word. That's coming towards us now. Once it goes back on the building, I think it's going to look too small. A bit of mucking around. You can't just pick it up and place it, otherwise it grabs it and you lose your direction altogether. So we want to just bring the, not right back in there, but we need to bring the pitch possibly out. Am I doing the right one? I think I am. Yep. And now just bring it back out. It's certainly way too small, but so even for now, this looks half, decent. We'll bring it right back out onto the market sign. The only problem is to get it where I want it, we've got to muck around like this. And after all that, I'm just thinking it might have been better to use a grenade launcher or something with a bit more. think now we might even just flip it around this way. You should have done it roll. And we can just put that on top of the market. It's frustrating. Such a skinny item, it's hard to place. Yeah, I think I'm just about to give up on the gun because we're just going to have a nice big poster there anyway. So I think that'll do us for now. We'll get onto the hardware store. Something that's not so monotonous. Yeah, that'll do. You can't even see it, but we get the general idea. Okay, so now what we need to do is we can just, I'm sure that gun's sticking right out, but the best thing to do, and I probably could have done this earlier, is just get zoom right in on it. I think it would probably have made it a bit easier. Slow the mouse wheel down a bit. Get it on sticking right out, but that doesn't matter. Even sitting on top of that the roof there, we'll just try and get it a little bit better position. Just because I am fussy. Drop it down. Fix its yaw so it sits flat. Just pitch. And kind of got to move the camera around to get it spot on. Drop it down just a touch. And that'll do us. Unless it looks stupid from the front, which it probably does. Yeah, it's not centered, but that'll do for now. We get the idea. It's probably going to change later anyway. At least now we know it's a gun shop. Okay, next building. Now, for a hardware store, as I said, because we have very limited shops that we can use, I think we might go something like a shed that we can dress up at the front, put a tractor, one of the old wrecked tractors in front of it. We're going to be buying things like barrels and all the hardware tools, so I'll just have a look through the buildings, the sheds. We don't want something too big. Now that I've said that, that one's probably going to be one of the best. Or we can go, one of the new sheds that I've seen in, that's obviously way too small. Too small. We can go something like that. Possibly even use 2 sheds. This was the one I was thinking. and maybe just dress it up with some nice brick walls, bits and pieces out the front. That could be a go. Or actually this one's I think bigger, small 1 and small 2. They're the same size, it's just got a door, yeah, door in the center. We could try that out. Maybe for the country farmer. This is cool too. It's pretty huge though, but we can dress the front of it up with signs. Put the old bomb tractor out the front, big hardware sign on the front. Maybe a shovel and something hanging off the front as well. The only thing that worries me about that, it might be a bit too big, but I like it though. This looks a bit ratty, bit old. That one's too small. I think that's got the busted door as you walk in. Looks a bit dodgy. This is cool, but I don't know, I think I like the other one better. As I said, we're pretty limited with what buildings you can use. Plenty of houses and things like that. It's the cow shed. We don't want the cow shed. It's got the cow rails or whatever, yard things in it, whatever they're called. Alright, so we'll just pop down this one and we'll see what we can do with it. Where is it? There. I got a feeling it's going to be way too big though. Let's get it on the map and have a look. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's a bit big for the position I've got here, but might be able to work with that. Even I think it had a door on this side as well. Maybe we can just yeah, it hasn't. Oh yes it does. That's the way it's going. So that's our new hardware store. It's got to be plenty of room to hang some shovels up and a big billboard on the side, a tractor out the front. I don't mind that. So now, see, if you pick it up, you can move it. And I'll just position it roughly where we want it. Now we'll exit that and just have a bit of a look and see where it is in relation to everything else at the back of it. See what we need to do. Bring it back a little bit against that fence. Put it on an angle here so it runs parallel with that fence. But in saying that, I like to keep things square as much as I can, and that's quite square to the front of the market there. Could I have gone back a bit on the market? Yes, I could have, and I still can. Just to give us some more room for driving and mucking around out the front, although there's plenty of room out here. I like to come up here in the Hummers, and this is my test driving area as well. Whereas now it's sticking out a bit too far here, but that's okay because the next shop we can start building, we can put right here. We can possibly do the grocery store or something here. So just having a look at the position of the gun shop, I think we can definitely, just to give us some more room for testing and stuff, and before we go too crazy, is just move this up. It's only 2 items to move, so well, 3 including the gun that took me half an hour, which I'll do that in offline when I'm offline. So we might just leave the shed here and just pop a few things down just to get the effect that we need. We go inside. As you can see, the grass coming through the floor, that's nothing you can really do about that when you're putting something down on a hilly area and a long grassed area. Just to have a quick look, say we were to put that in a town, you're always really going to get the long grass come through it because we don't have access that I'm aware of to you know, removing grass something I'm going to look at in the next few days is, you know, I know you can add builder items and stuff like that, which gives you plenty more things to add around the map. So I tried to download that today and yesterday. I'm just having some installation problems with it. But just say, for instance, I'm just trying to look for a place, suitable place. You could possibly put it, say, here. You want to try and find somewhere nice and flat. The grass is still going to come through the floor on that building because it's a low building. But there's not a heap of areas throughout the map that have like mown lawns, so it's just something until I can work out how to remove the grass. I need like a terrain tool. I'm not sure if it's available yet. I'm sure the modders are probably working on it. But yeah, you just sort of put it here, somewhere like that. Back it off a little bit, maybe put a bit of a concrete or asphalt area at the front of it. Alright, so I am going to just put that one on an angle though, just because I need the room to get around there in the cars. And that's not to say tomorrow, when I am mucking around with this one here and changing its position a bit, I'll bring it back down into this area and run it along with the fence. That way it won't look too weird. Okay, so for now, best thing to do is just to come around this side so we can see the fence. And we'll just move the position of that. Now you do find you need to change your camera angles regularly just to make sure. No, that's pretty good. You can't run down the back of it, but that's alright. It's not. If you wanted to, you could put it right back over the fence. You can actually, it doesn't matter, but you've got to be careful that the structures you do build over the top of don't come through the building and look stupid from the inside. So what we can do is just see how high we can actually get that building now without it jumping out of the ground, which will remove a bit of the grass. So we'll do that and just see. Position Y. You can come right up. It's actually got quite a big base on it, this thing, but if you have a look up the other end, you can't really see it because the menu item's there. The ramp only sort of goes to about there. So we'll just check that out now from the front. The grass should definitely be out of it, actually. But we will find out. And obviously just checking that the building's not sitting up out of the ground anywhere. And that's actually pretty good there. The ramp still, look, it's just made it. It could drop down a little bit just to get rid of that, so you don't, not that it matters too much. The ramp at the front's okay, and inside, no grass. Look, little tiny bit coming through, which is more than fine. It actually doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. So I think that's a good start to the country hardware store. We're going to move this one, so we're not too concerned about that. You know what, just before, I'm going to move this quickly now because we want to position this in the right place before we go adding too much stuff, because then I'll just have to move it all again anyway. This will only take me a few minutes. We'll get rid of that gun. I'm not going to stuff around with that too much. And we'll get rid of the gun first. So the gun is gone. I'll probably delete the wrong thing here. No, gun's gone. And we'll bring that market over. So you just click on the market, ensure that we've got the right one chosen. Now we are spinning that around that way a little bit to go with the fence, and we can drag it now, get it roughly in position. I'm pretty sure that back door is going to be impeded by that. It would be good to get that in there, but I think it might be hanging over the back fence. But we'll just go and check that out quickly. Oh, it's actually pretty good. Oh, it's actually pretty perfect. And you're just making sure, I know it's really fussy, but you don't want the to be sticking out of the ground if you can help it, because it just looks silly. And we can come over a little bit more, very slightly, and I even think we could just straighten it up a little bit, although it is, then it'll have to come forward a touch, so we'll straighten it up a little bit and bring it over, just so it tries to run in line a little bit with the market, the hardware store. Alright, so fix up our yaw a bit, and this is the part it doesn't actually have. It should have 4 positions to move instead of 2. And drop it down just a fraction. Hopefully that's not too far. Alright. Checking the position again. Ah, spot on. Alright, so how are we situated with the hay? Pretty good. Yep, very happy with that. So, it looks good from the front. If we've got a little bit of grass coming through, which we do, we can't help that. Yep, we're done. Alright, so that's its spot. We'll just move the car over a bit. When you push the right button. Okay, so now we just got to get that car sitting right again. And because we got it pretty close last time, and it's pretty much on the same level. Yeah, we're good. And that'll do it. Alright, so that one's done. Now what we do before we go too much further, we'll move this shed along till it's exactly where we want it, and then we will save the coordinates in case it freezes out again. We want to leave a little bit of room for that ramp. And bring it up a touch actually. Before we do that though, we'll just check its position. Okay, so it's got to come forward a touch off the fence. So we got about 2 or 3 feet there. And I always like to have a top-down view look as well, just to check out your position in relation to other buildings. And that looks pretty good. So we're going to bring it forward and up a little bit. Okay, so now it's using small increments. Pick the shed. So up on the Y position, just watching those ramps. I think that's probably it there. And forward maybe to about there. come forward just a couple of inches more, just so that doesn't look silly. And that's about it there. Oh. So you can actually get rid of that. Right there. Alright. One last quick check. And then we'll save its coordinates before it freezes out. It's looking pretty good there. We're all good on the front ramp. We're all good on that front ramp, and I don't know if we've got God mode on or we need to have a drink. We're cool with that fence. This fence has just gone in a little bit. You would probably go forward a bee's dick more if you were being real fussy, which I am, so we'll just do that, and then we're done. Quick check in here, a little bit of grass coming through, but that's no biggie. And right there. I'm not going to move it again. I'm not even going to check anything else again. We're going to save it. Export the coordinates, and I'll just throw them in the back end of the website. Just bear with me. Okay. As I said, I just save it in about 3 locations, guys, just because I want to make sure of it. Now, all we've done there is moved the gun shop, the wreck in front of it, and placed that large shed, which will be the hardware store. So I've just replaced the old file for the gun shop. And then our new shop, which is our hardware store. Added that. And we're good. So what we'll do quickly before we come into game and have a look at what we've done, let's just make it look like a bit of a hardware store to start with. We'll go adding some more stuff to it tomorrow. Not a bad little hardware store. We'll put our trader in here. He can be standing beside his chair. So you'll be able to go in there and see him and buy what you need. So to start with, I think to make it, as I said, we'll get a big billboard and put on the front here that says hardware store, or hanging half off the roof, half down onto the building. But for today, we won't go too crazy. We might just see what a shovel looks like and a pick on the side of the building possibly, although it's a bit finicky. But to start off, we'll just throw that tractor wreck. Actually, I'll go. You can't actually put. Well, the harvester actually wouldn't look too bad there. Possibly. And the harvester would look better than that, but we'll pop that down. Check it out. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Change its yaw a bit. Because that's our front door, I want a bit of fix that roll up a bit. That's his office there. We might just pop it around that way. Probably go a bit closer to the building. Maybe there, a bit of room to walk around it. So that'll do for now. We'll check out that harvester. Yeah, that looks pretty cool too. Missing a wheel, so we leave it on that angle, just so the can't straighten this one up, and we can now just put that roughly sort of there. Get out of here, have a bit of a look at our work. Tractor's not looking too bad. We could probably fix the pitch a little bit. And the harvester's off the ground a little bit here, but yeah, it's just got to come out a little bit off the building. That'll probably, we could put that on a bit of an angle of the dangle. We might worry about that a little bit later. Just drop it down. You want it so that the wheels aren't off the ground but not too far in. And the tractor just needed to have a little bit of pitch on it. Okay, one last quick check. And we're still off the ground a bee's dick there, so a little bit of roll if you really wanted to get fussy. I actually think that's pretty good. It's not perfect, but hey, what is? It's off the building. Tractor's off the building. That front wheel looks pretty good. It's flat. That's all good. This one's in the dirt, but that's alright. It's been sitting here in a wet spot. Doesn't look too bad. And just to finish off on this one, just for now, we'll put a shovel and a pick maybe hanging off this wall if we can. I think we've got available shit ground. What's shit ground? I'll check that out later. shovel. It's going to be pretty small, but it should be okay just near the door. Alright, so just bring it out where we can see it. Bring it up so we can, we'll spin it right around. And I think we might just leave it flat. Just something like that. We'll adjust it in a second. Now we want a pickaxe. I'm just trying to think. Piss ground. We've got piss ground and shit ground. I might have to check that out. Okay, so pickaxe. Alright, so same deal with this puppy. Alright, that's going the wrong way. Oh no, we want the pickaxe to be up that way. Not really going to see it on this shed very well, but you know, we're just mucking around. Maybe bring it a little that way. Bit too close to the shovel. So something along the lines of that. We'll dress it up a little bit later. I wonder if you can put some, what other tools have we got in DayZ that we can use? A handsaw. Or is it just called, it is called a handsaw, but I don't know if it's going to let us use it yet until we, oh yeah, there we go, handsaw. And just for now, we'll put a little sign over the top of this that sort of says entry or something along those lines. But maybe for now, as I said, we'll play around with this later and get it spot on. We just we are just mucking around at the moment, just to get general ideas. We really need a massive one of these, it'd look awesome. Big saw and a big claw hammer or something. Very hard to try and turn it on. I've got to move in a bit closer to see what I'm doing, which I think we'll do that now that we've got it there. While we're here, we'll just check out our, yeah, that's what we need to fix. Just get them sitting flush on the building. Start with the, you're going to let us choose it from here. pickaxe, and what do we want on that? Roll. And pop it back on the shed, right there. Next one was the shovel, and then we have to get on the front view and just make sure that they're straight up and down again, because I'm mucking around a bit with it. So obviously put that there. And the handsaw, I think, do we want roll on that? This is a bit tricky, this one. Let's just bring it over so it's flat. Change its yaw. Back a bit on the roll. So something like that, but we just need to move that now. And then we're looking pretty good for today. Alright, so once again, it looks a bit dodgy now, but we get the idea. It's a hardware store, hopefully. What we could do with that saw, keep pushing the wrong button. Is just, I'm going to do it the hard way just because otherwise it'll just go walkabouts. I was just seeing what it looked like under the shovels, but I think we'll just put it here. And that'll do. So save that, export so we don't forget to save it, and it'll probably be sticking out a bit maybe. No, it looks pretty good for now. So yeah, we'll put some hammers and something else up there later. You could probably put a bomb car or something, but I think we've got enough with those two vehicles out the front. Once we put a big billboard up here, big hardware sign in here maybe. And that looks pretty cool. Alright, so we'll just save that now. We'll jump back in game. Tomorrow or the next day I'll put some traders in there, change their items so that they only sell guns in here, only sell hardware items in here, stuff like that. Alright, so give me a minute, I'll just update those settings. We'll jump in game, have a look around, and that'll just about do us for this stream. We've got a fair bit done. Hopefully hasn't been too boring. Well, if you're still here, I guess that's a no. Okay, so we added the tractor, the harvester, and I'm pretty sure I already saved those settings for the moved buildings. Alright, so everything's saved there. We can close out of the offline builder. And this will take a couple of minutes, guys, but we'll spawn into the actual game now. Check it out. We'll have a bit of a run around, have a look at our handiwork, and then we shall call it a night. Another minute or so. So once these buildings are spot on and we're happy with it, I will start placing them around the map. So just something, you know, a little different. Point of interest. And we'll probably put maybe half a dozen of each building type around the map. Each one of them maybe a little bit of different landscaping around them. A few different fences, a couple of different bomb cars. Some animals. Whatever we want. Alright, this is the big test now. The server has loaded up, which means I haven't stuffed up any of the settings too badly. Now we'll just launch the game. Hopefully. It's always a worry. Especially when you're live. Well, it's showing up in the server list, so that's a good start. And you guys should just about be able to see the load up screen. In about 5 seconds. And with a bit of luck, we don't get any error messages come up and we just load straight in. We'll have a bit of a walk around, we'll jump in one of the Hummers, do a quick burnout or two, and then we'll finish it up. Alright, well, it's dark. I can see the buildings in front of us, so that's a good start. let's change the weather to, oh, wrong button, buddy. We thought I clicked weather. Let there be light. Alright. So everything's where it's meant to be. The two cars that we placed, well, I put that other car just there before I started the live stream, but so both cars have spawned into where we placed them, so that's always a bonus. It's always a worry when you place vehicles in and on buildings, that they're going to be there when you come back, and not jump around or flip over or glitch out. So everything's looking good. I'm going to buy a gun. As you can see, our buildings all look perfect. We'll walk up here. We'll put a cellar in. Spawn a cellar in there tomorrow, more than likely. So the gun shop's good. It, as it says, we've been talking, just needs a nice big gun poster, sign, billboard, whatever you want to call it, on the front of it. Could even put a couple of guns just down here, even just stuck to the wall. Possibly do that. Our tractors are in position. Sheds look good in relation to the fence. They don't look too bad there. And we'll walk in here, and obviously standing here somewhere will be another Pete, more than likely, selling hardware. That's not a bad day's work. One thing I do want to check out, it's got me not worried but a bit perplexed, is why that car didn't spawn out here last time, because it should have. I'm pretty sure I didn't change any settings. It is going to block me from buying one, but we'll just give it a go. I wanted a red Mustang, and it is parked right there. So just had a little glitch out for some reason, but obviously you know, it's selling Mustangs at the moment. It won't sell Mustangs when I configure the settings properly. It'll sell the old bombs here. The Mustangs will be purchased from over here in the sports car shop. So we may as well take the Mustang for a bit of a burn. Unlock him. Pop the key away before I lose it. Oh. I love these things. They sound good, they go good, they look great. They're pretty cool. I have noticed this one jumps around a little bit, but it does only jumps around for the first few seconds. Once you, there you go. Once you click it in, give it a rev, it fixes itself up. And for those of you that haven't seen inside, they're pretty awesome, you know. I love it. The white leather seats with the inserts, inlays, whatever you call them. Beautiful. And we can get a bird's eye view of our sports car shop. Looking pretty snazzy over there. Someone's left the door open, the gun shop's open, the hardware shop's open. I'm pretty happy with that. For a couple of hours work, goes to show what you can do when you have a bit of a go. Do a lap of the car test facility so I don't crash. A bit tight around the back here. I should be in the other view because I think I just bumped that one, but it doesn't matter. All looking pretty good. It sounds like a real one. Alright, so pretty happy with that, guys. We'll park this up and I will get out of this view to park it up. Yeah, pretty special, this one. Certainly one of my favourite cars in the game. I love the Astons, don't get me wrong, but the sounds just need a little bit of work from the mod developers. And that'll about do it. Now you guys are gonna, I'll turn that off, open the door, turn the car back on again. I've got my key bindings going. Turns itself off. And that'll about do it. We could just double check this spawn. I did say we'd go for a quick drive in a Hummer, so I'm just gonna see if it spits out a Hummer, or is it gonna say that there's a building in the way. What Hummer do we want? What colour? Pick a colour. We've got enough of everything. We'll go another Anarchy one, just because I think they look pretty cool. And yeah, it's parked it out there, so beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, quick drive in the Hummer before we end the stream. Pop the key away. Well, we got a couple of $1 bills there, so we'll put a little bit of money in this one. Pop the key in. Now, if you guys haven't seen the Hummers in action, these things are beasts. I love them. Now, we don't have much room to wind it up here, but a little bit. We're bouncing around a bit. Clear that fence first. Plenty of room. So guys, that'll end our video for tonight. If you did make it all the way through, I think we've been going for just under a couple of hours. We've done a fair bit. They look pretty good for a noob. Still a bit of work to go on them, a lot of work to go on them, but not a bad start. Appreciate you watching. Don't forget, if you haven't hit that like button, give that a whack. I do appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one, guys.